I was just totally done. Like, I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted a divorce. I wanted out. I'd seen my daughter go through so much. I'd been through so much. And I just felt like that was the easiest way. I mean, it's just done, you know. And then something started to happen. Shannon started changing. I could see a difference in him. And guess what? I got mad at God. I was like, God, I have been praying for him, and I'm done, and now you're changing him. And I can't do this anymore, Lord. I'm tired. I don't trust him. And so the Lord spoke to me during quiet time that I had to trust him more than I trust Shannon. And that was hard. It was really hard for me. I didn't want to do that. I argued with the Lord on many occasions. And even Allie would say, Mom, you don't need to put up with him. That's, what are you doing? But finally, I surrendered it to the Lord little by little. And I started seeing that it was real. Like, I started seeing Shannon had changed. He was more tender. And he testified of how the Lord had protected him, which that was one of the things that I prayed for while I was going to doctrination, was that the Lord would make him more tender, and that he would protect him, and that he would restore our home. And so today, we are in a much better place. I continue to be amazed at what the Lord is doing and what he's done and what he continues to do in our home. We're not perfect, but he'll say he's sorry now, whereas he used to never say he was sorry. Shannon and Allie get along great. She actually goes to him and talks to him about stuff sometimes, and she don't talk to me about it. So we laugh together, we cry together, and we serve. And so I just want to say, if you're going through something similar to this, there is hope. And a couple of verses that I really clung to this was in our house. It was at the top of our stairs. And it was, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. I'm making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. And that's exactly what he's done for us.
Last couple of things I want to say is, don't be afraid. If you're in a crisis right now, if you know that you're living life in a way that is not pleasing to the Lord, it's not really pleasing to you, you're stuck in a rut more or less, don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to find a good counselor. Don't be afraid to find a good church. And most importantly, don't be afraid as you start seeking the Lord to allow the Lord to change you, because the Lord will change you. I'm not, sometimes I wonder who I am compared to who I was. Because I just don't view life through the same optic. I don't handle situations the same way, but that's fine, because I handle them the way he intended for me to handle them in the first place. I chose a different way. So don't worry about what your friends think. Don't worry about what culture says for you to do. Not a popular opinion, but I'm going to tell you, it's way more manly to choose to love someone that you love, that has hurt you, than it is to throw a big fit, threaten them with violence, profanity, whatever, and try to run them out of your life. Real strength is in the former example, not the latter. And that's the same strength that Jesus displayed for us. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to be humble. And lastly, I guess I just want to emphasize that by reading a verse that I think we all should concentrate on in life, and particularly in our marriages, and it's from Galatians. It's a few verses. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law. So I'm not going to read about the acts of the flesh, but I'm telling you, this is God's word. Gentleness and self-control. kindness, forbearance, love, joy, peace. Don't be afraid to exhibit those things. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not willing to exhibit them in your home, you'll never be able to exhibit them out on the street.
You know, that was one of my prayers when we were going through some of the hardest times, is that Shannon would be gentle. And I can honestly say that, you know, the Lord has answered that prayer. I didn't see it for a long time, but He is a gentle soul now. And Allie, even, she's like, he cries so much. He's crying again. So, but the Lord has been good to us, and we're just so thankful for what He's done.
So just know that it's okay to be where you're at, but it's also okay to make changes. And a church like ours, we love people. We love broken people because we're all broken people. Most importantly, we love Jesus. And we'd be happy to have you here and help you in your journey.